We're going to be learning in our weekly Chavura in Korva Nafshi, amazing book by Rav Kluger that we've been working through. And the truth is that we learned a little bit of what we're going to learn tonight already last time when Rav Kluger came. But because Rav Kluger came, I was also a little bit distracted. There was a lot going on. I don't know how much we remember of that Torah. So we're going to do a review of that, Vizat Hashem. And right now, we're going to get into it. We are in the third chapter of the book Korva Nafshi, bring my soul closer to Geulah, to redemption, all about making the peace between our soul, our mind, and our body. And I have to re-clarify that before teaching this, we started teaching this book, I went to Rav Kluger, and Rav Kluger told me that teaching this would be the most difficult thing I do in my life, and then I'm going to go through a very hard time. And it wasn't a curse, it was a warning, and be prepared. And everything he said has been coming true. My life has completely changed since we started learning this book. I'm living it, I'm going through it, it's hurting a lot, but it's good. It's good, and I promise you, if you start to try to live this Torah, it might be very, very scary, but it's very, 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 very needed. It's Torah Emet. This is a real Torah. So just re-saying that again, right? This is a real Torah, and may we all be zochet to taste the outcomes of downloading such ideas and really trying and begging Hashem to implement them in your lives. Zat Hashem. Mehuma v'Sha'ar. Right? So we've been talking about what goes on between the process of the neshama coming down into the body, the soul coming into the body, and having to work together with the chiyuni, with the vital, essential soul, and with the mind, right? With the sikhli, the intellectual soul, and the need for both of them to serve the neshama, right? To serve the purpose that the neshama came down to the world, to elevate the mind and to elevate the body back up to its creator. So the three of them together, which is what we are as human beings, we're not just the soul, we're not just the body. We are a body, a mind, and a soul. That is our makeup, right? When we're down in this world, that's what we are. That's how Hashem created us here in this world, right? And the goal is that the neshama rules over everything, and that translates down to the brain. And the brain is this intermediary that helps to teach the body what it needs to do. But most of us grew up for 20 years plus, 30 years sometimes, that the child wants to, the body wants to be in charge, right? And then it's very, very, very hard once the neshama wants the power and knows it needs the power, and everybody inside you knows that the neshama needs the power, for the neshama to take back over and to do what it needs to do.
30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
Sometimes a lifetime, right? And this is essentially all of the awkwardness and the struggle and the strife that we have inside our lives internally, plays outwardly and happens out externally as well. It's all a projection of what's going on inside. And the main problem that we have inside is that we don't have peace between our neshama, our mind, and our body, and that our body and our mind try to rule over the neshama and flip the order, and they don't give it in where they should. And sometimes the neshama doesn't also feel like giving over light like it should, because it gets rejected all the time. And this learning is all to try to make peace and understand this inner workings a little bit more, to remove these awkward situations and bring our nefesh closer to Geulah. Korva el Nafshi Ge'ala. Bring Geulah, bring redemption closer to my being, my nefesh, not my neshama, not anything. That composition of the three of them together, this lower level of me down here, the neshama, the mind, and the body together, we need Geulah there. And like the Baal Shem Tov said, when we all get Geulah in our own Dalet Amot, that's what's going to bring the Geulah for the world, right? The global Geulah comes by each one of us as individuals trying to bring it on ourselves. Zat Hashem. המבוכה הפנימית פוקדת את היהודי לעתים קרובות מדי. This inner battle that we've been talking about, sometimes it comes up in a Jew too frequently. It's happening too much, right? We're going through this a little bit too often. כל מציאותו אומרת דרשני. His whole entire reality says, please explain what's going on. אינו בהיר במתחולל בתוכו. Nothing, you don't have clarity at all on what's going on inside of you. מה יפים הרגעים שבהם הנשמה שבו המאירה קרני אור בשכלי וחיוני. How beautiful are the moments when the neshama is able to illuminate rays of light into the mind, into the body. והם הקשובים ונענים לו. How pleasant is it when they are paying attention and receiving the messages and listening to what the neshama has to say. מפיקים מן הכוח אל הפועל את השראת השם יתברך שהביא בהם. They're able to take from potential into actualization, into fruition, all of the presence that Hashem has brought inside of him, that the neshama has brought, right? The presence of Hashem that the neshama manages to bring inside the body. Lezot yikareh or bichli. This is what we call light in a vessel. Neshama beguf, a soul in a body. Mitziuto shel Yehudi ba'az shlemuta bechol chelekea. At that moment, when the neshama is able to bring godliness into the mind, into the body, and to have these radiant lights affecting them and elevating them, there's a light called the neshama, and there's a body called a vessel called a body, and they work together in unison, and everything's happening right. That's what's called perfection. That's what's called everything's great. That doesn't mean necessarily in that person's life everything on paper seems right, but there's harmony between the neshama, the body, and the mind. That's what's called a perfect form, right? If the mind and the body were alone, and if the neshama was alone, there wouldn't be this gilui, this revelation of the light of Hashem in the world like there is with a neshama and a body and a mind. A neshama by itself can't reveal Hashem's light in this world. And a body and a mind by itself is just some dust and molecules. It can't do anything. It's only together that we have Gilui Elokut, we have a godly revelation. It's by way of three of them together, the power of the three of them being partners. There is no greater perfection than that. Than soul, mind, and body in unison, working together. Ela ששוב ושוב מוצא יהודי את עצמו כאילו אין בה מאומה זולת החיוני. Again and again, the Jew finds himself as if all that he has inside of him is the body, is the chiyuni, is the lowest level of the three. הנשמה כמו שותקת בעלבון, the neshama, so to say, is paralyzed, is quiet, is not able to talk from such disgrace. אינה שולטת, she's not in power, it's not ruling over the structure. So this is disgraceful. I'm a spark of Hashem from up above, and a body is telling me what to do. It's a disgrace. Naturally, then the neshama wants to be quiet, not want to say anything. גם השכלי נעשית משרת לחיוני האוחז לפתע לבד בהגה השלטון. So too, the mind all of a sudden becomes a servant to the body that is suddenly holding on to the steering wheel and taking power. Not only is the neshama not in power and the body is trying to take over, now the mind has to listen to the body even. And it's all happening suddenly that the body wants to take over and wants to grab. When what's the spontaneous aspect here? What's the sudden aspect? The pitomi, the feta, surprisingly. Because it's not meant to be that way. Why should the lowest thing on the prong take control of the whole entire structure? It makes no sense. The simple soldier takes over the whole entire army. Starts calling the shots, what the generals have to do. It's not the way. There's another wonder going on here. If the body was even happy and joyful that it was in charge, Mushar v'tov lev, nicha. You're happy, good heart, you're in charge. All right, at least that, be happy. Little child wants to run the show. Are you happy running the show? No. הנח לו לילד אם חש איש גדול בלבשו ולהרים כובע אביו. Let the kid feel great when for a moment he plays with his father's hat. He puts his father's hat on. The little kid wants to wear the hat. Let him wear the hat. Let him be, okay, let him play. He's playing dress up. Let him be in his show. עולם החיוני רוגז ושולט. שולט ורוגז. But the body is trying to be a tyrant, to rule over, and with anger, and causes damage and problems. Not enjoying the power and the rain. The opposite, destroying and angry at everybody and upset and depressed. And everything's a dark cloud and everything's backwards and everything's bad. The more power the chiyuni gets, the more anger and more upset and more depression comes inside the whole entire structure. משתולל אז, מסתכן, כשיורד, יורד על העפר. Then it starts to go crazy. And when it starts to go down, it goes all the way down to the dust. It goes all the way down to depression, goes down to very dark places. אינו מוצא מנוח אמת. Never find real tranquility, real rest. תמה, מה מתרחש עמו? Person asks himself, what the heck is going on? What's going on inside of me? What's happening here? אם מבקש שליטה, you want to be in charge, body? כי אולי כבד עליו עול הנשמה. You want to be in charge because the yoke of the neshama being on you, having a godly spark inside of you, bringing lights and trying to lift you up, that's too hard for you, so you want to take over? למה זו רגזנות ושעת שליטה? So then why are you upset when you take power? You don't want the neshama to be in power. You're not willing to take the orders of a neshama. You want to take over, so then give in. Why are you not happy being in charge? אם כואב את שלטונו עד כדי חוסר מנוח כזה, מדוע לא יניח את השליטה בידי רעיו הטובים ממנו? And if it hurts that badly to be in charge, why don't you let your friends that are better than you at this position take over? Let the neshama do the job. Too hard for you, the neshama, let the mind take over. But you're the lowest on it, you're not able to do it, you want to throw a fit every time and bring everybody down to the dust. So let someone else take over. They're made for this. You weren't. You were meant to take the orders. אכן כבר נאמר שמהות השכלי והחיוני הנועדים לקבל הוראה של הנשמה שונים לחלוטין מן השכל והחיוני של אומת בעלי חיים שנועדו להיות לבדם. Now we have to understand a deep principle. The mahut of the sikhli and the chiyuni, that they are meant to receive the light of a neshama, meaning a mind and a body that's meant to receive a chelek Eloah mimamal mamash, שונים לחלוטין מן השכל החיוני של האומות ובעלי חיים שנועדו להיות לבד. Is completely different than the body and the mind of the umot and of the chayot and of any other creation, that they're not going to get that level of neshama. They weren't meant to receive such a level of neshama. Not a chelek Eloah mimamal. That not. Chiyuni, sikhli, yeah. And that's what they're meant to go through life. Neshama on that level, like Am Yisrael is meant to receive, that's Am Yisrael. So if there's such a difference, lelo shetavo aleim neshama. There's not the same level of download for the other briot in the world. Chatzuvim mimekol gavoa v'ta'or yater. That chiyuni that's meant to receive, that body that's meant to receive, a ehrlich neshama, a high level neshama, it's a different body. And that mind that's meant to receive the light of a neshama is a different mind. Then you can understand a little bit where, if that's the case, if right, let's put it this way, most animals in the world, or most human beings in the world, are dealing with, for the example, Toyotas. And then there's this one nation in the world that happens to have the kli, the vessel, just the vessel alone, is cut from a different cloth, is made on a different manufacturing thing. It's a whole different level car. It's a whole different level engine. Right? It's a Ferrari, exactly. It's a different league. It's not a Toyota. Everyone has a Toyota. They're easy, they're great, they're reliable. It can't do what a Ferrari can do. And it's not made to do what a Ferrari can do. Right? Different gas, different engine, different workings, delicate, fragile, costs much more. Right? Gets looked at, gets differentiated just by being there without even making a noise. Just looking at it is different.
But a Ferrari can't last like a Toyota can.
You can't put gas in a Ferrari like
Toyota is way more reliable than a Ferrari.
Chalila v'chas, if you understand the mashal what we're saying. Ki chas she'eno noheg keshura. So why then, when that Ferrari level mind and soul and body, when things aren't going right, why is there such anger? Because it knows what it's meant to be doing. It knows what it's meant for. It's meant to work on the highest level possible in this world. That's what it was created for. So as long as that's not happening, there's a problem here. There's anger. There's
So if you have a Ferrari and you try to drive it like a Toyota, that Ferrari is going to be mad, it's going to break down, it's not going to work right. When you finally try to drive it like a Ferrari, it's not going to be able to do that.
right.
Why is mind not part of body or soul? Keep on saying mind as its own.
Because you have you have nefesh be'emid and you have nefesh sichlit. Those are still attached to this world. And then you have a neshama, that's Eloki. Your mind and your body, your heart and your mind, your chiyuni, your essential soul, your vital soul, what we call, most of the times what we call a nefesh, right? On the nefesh ha-behemit side, on the nefesh ha-sichli side, your mind, your intellect, what you understand as a human being, what you learn and what you interact with, that is all connected to this world. The neshama came from above and comes down to infuse them. I'm not talking, when I say body here, I don't mean the physical body. I mean the neshama of the physical body from this world. The nefesh of this body, right? From this world though. Not the nefesh ha-elokit. Right? Everything in this world, this shender also has a nefesh. That's what I'm talking about. Like this shender has a nefesh, your body has a nefesh. Of this world, not of the nar nachi. You got what I'm saying? In other words, it's your heart and your mind, right? Your ta'avot, your lust for the desires for this world, your animalistic side, and then your higher human mind side, and then there's a neshama. Then there's this superpower that's meant to come down and lift both of them up, and they're both meant to serve. But they're from this world. They're not Eloki, right? They're Kelim. They're not Orot. Your neshama is a Or. It's not a Kli. It's a Kli for Hashem, but not in this world. In this world, it's a Or. Right? So we're saying these tools, this mind, this body from this world, for a Yid though, that is already different. It was cut from a different cloth. It was made from a different quarry because it's meant to take in a neshama from Am Yisrael. So when things aren't going right, and it knows that, it senses that, right? Like a good kid that all of a sudden slipped up and was disrespectful and misbehaved. If it's a good kid, that slip up is stands out much more for him and for others too, for the parents, for the child, for the teacher, right? It's like, whoa, where did that come from? You? What? That wasn't right. You're a good guy. What are you doing? אשר מרוב כאב פנימי הוא רוגז על עצמו מאוד ומתוך כך הוא משתתה יותר עד שאי אתה יודע מה גובר, השטות או החרטה. It gets to a point where I know what I'm meant to be doing so much that I have such inner pain, such anger from being so confused that you get to a point that you don't know what's more powerful, the nonsense inside of me, the foolishness inside of me, or the regret. You don't know which side is more dominant. If that's the case, without understanding the heart of the body, the heart of the chiyuni, of the essential soul, won't have the consolement, won't have that nechama that it's meant to have. The fact that inside of you right now there's three people, there's three masters trying to rule over one structure, it drives you, it puts you into a very awkward position. The neshama can't find itself. There's no place for the neshama in that kind of situation. The Jew all of a sudden has schisms and all these cracks inside of him, all these different parties inside of him, right? Groups. When you go across a shul, your neshama is raging to get out, like Yaakov. You go past clubs, you go past bars, your body starts to want to go out, like Esav. And the Jew asks this. He feels it inside of him and he asks this and he says, Im ken, lama ze anochi? Like Rivka asked, if this is the case, what's going on? She thought, again, why did she ask that question? Because she thought she had one child. That's what bothered her. I have one child that when I pass a shul, he wants to run inside, and when I pass the place of Avodah Zarah, he wants to run inside. What's going on here? I'm meant to have Tzadikim. What was the answer she got from Shamayim through Shem Ve'ever? It's two children. That calmed her down. So now, okay, bringing that to us, that we have three beings inside of us, can calm you down a little bit. But now we have to make peace. Now we have to align them. Now we have to get them talking to each other. Remind me in the share afterwards, we get off camera, to come back to this point of alignment and having them talk to each other. כי תרי"ג מצוות נצטווה יהודי בהר סיני. In Mount Sinai you were commanded in 613 mitzvot. ואכן עמל ומשתדל לקיים באיבריו וגידיו את רמ"ח מצוותיו העשה ולשמור את שס"ה מצוות לא תעשה. You, your whole entire life, are striving with all of your organs and all of your limbs to keep all the 248 mitzvot. And with all of your sinews, so guard yourself from all of the 365 negative commandments that you shouldn't do. Like Rabbi Yoel Turjman Zatzal would always say, aligned with the Rav Shach, Siftei Kohanim, as well as the Bir Yaakov, that there's 613 commandments, there's 613 parts of the neshama, and there's 613 parts of the body. And they all need to be aligned, and they all need to be worked together. And Eitzah, in order to get this aligned, is to take the list of the 613 mitzvot, and to read them. So go through, break them down to 7 days. If you want a PDF from Rabbi Yoel, I can get it to you. And if you want a book, we even have them right up here. Every day you can come inside here and sit here and align yourself with the 613. These 3 white pamphlets up there, that's what they are. But this great war that you have in your midst, אודותיה מסופר כאן בהרחבה כזו, היא על המערכת הרצונות הפנימית, שם עיקר מרכז מהותו של אדם. Where is the main place that this war, the awkwardness of lack of alignment happens? Where is the main question in life? Where is the main experience of the negative outcome of not having this and the positive outcome of having it? Your most inner desires. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want this world or do you want Hashem? You want good things, you want lofty things, or do you want low things? Are you looking to impress people and wear certain things? Or do you care what your neshama is wearing? What garments are wrapping that? Or you're still focused on the external? What's going on inside? What do you want? Do you want to eat healthy? Do you want to eat junk? I'm talking to myself, right? But it goes for everyone. Do we want good in life? Or do we not care? Not caring is also not good. Not caring what happens in your life is not good. שהרי יש לך מסייע לרעהו בידו או ברגלו, אך ליבו בא לעמו ופניו אינן מאירות. You have help from a friend in your hands and your feet, but your heart is not with you. And your face, there's no light there. You're not shining, you're not illuminating outwards. ולב מקבל נצבט בקרבו, the heart gets a zap, and it says, פעולה יש כאן. אך כיוון שבלא לב, actions there are here, but since there's no heart, מוטב לי שלא נעשתה. It's better that nothing would be done. What's the point of an action without a heart, right? כמאמר חז"ל במסכת קידושין, like it says in קידושין, יש מאכיל לאביו פסיוני. There's those that feed their fathers פסיוני. What is that? It's עוף שמן, a fat chicken. ותורדו מן העולם, and he takes his mind from the world. ויש מטחינו בריחיים, ומביאו לחיי העולם הבא. And there's those that take that fat chicken, they grind it up, and they take their father to the world to come. What is that? What's the pnimiut of what we just said? There's those that feed their father a fat chicken and give him, right now he has to deal with it, it takes him out of the world, he's busy with it. And there's those that they grind it up and they give it to him, and he gets into the world to come.
We do the digesting thing.
שמכבדו בדברו בדברים טובים וניחומים, והמלאכה מטיל עליו בלשון רכה, מראה לו צורך השעה שאינן יכולים להתפרנס אלא ביגיעה זו. We all have to eat in this world. If I come now and I give you a big meal, a chicken that you have to now shecht, prepare this, that, how much work is there to do here? Come on. Meaning, you can come to you can come to your body, you can come to your mind, into your mind and to your body, your heart, and you could tell it, you have to listen, and you have to do mitzvot, and you have to learn Torah, and you have to this, and you have to work on yourself, and you have to be perfect, and you have to get to high levels, and and all this work you have to do, and all these halachot, and all these halachot. Or you grind it up, you make it more digestible, and you come in a soft way, and you say, do you know that either way we have to do this, but I've tried to grind it up for you so that it can be easier for you to make this step towards listening to the neshama. Either way, we have to be tzadikim. We have to be kedoshim. And Hashem gave us a promise that we're going to be. But I'm trying to break down the avodah that needs to be done for you, body, and for you, mind, so that it makes it easier for you to take the step forward. Again, remind me about this point in my share. It's very important. Uma lanu koev. So what hurts us? Kehit'onenut Hashem yitbarach befi Yeshaya neviah. In the words of Isaiah, in the 29th chapter, Hashem puts there these words: Nigash ha'am hazeh befiv uvisfatav kibduni velibo richak mimeni vatehi iratam oti mitzvat anashim melumada. Hashem tells the prophet Isaiah to tell Am Yisrael, this nation approaches me with their mouth, and they honor me with their lips, and their heart is very far from me. And when they see me, or their awe of me, meaning their service of me, when they do mitzvot, it's mitzvat anashim melumada. They're checking V's. They're saying the words in the Siddur. Their heart is not there at all. Everybody wakes up in the morning, they show up to shul, they put on their tefillin. They're there. They're doing mitzvot. Their heart is far away from me. They honor me with their mouth. They don't mean what they say. They don't have enough emunah that I'm really there with them, in their bed, in the way they walk, what they're eating, what they're drinking, the way they talk to people, the way they think about people. Outwardly, black coat, hat, the whole 9 yards. Peyot, beard, tzitzit down to the floor. Where's their heart? In a club somewhere, in some other tava, in themselves, in their own gadlut, in their own bank account. Not in Hashem's mind. That's what Hashem told the Prophet to tell us. The Malbim, when he comes to explain this, the Malbim is what brings all of the depth into Tanakh. The Malbim says, Ki'ilu kol hanirtzeh min hamitzvah v'atorah hu rak ma'asim chitzonim belo machshava v'chavana. As if Hashem wanted us, or as if all we want to do in the mitzvah is the external action, right? To make sure we check the V, like we say, without any mind, without any kavanah, without any intention, without any importance. לא יעשו מפני שציוואם Hashem klal, רק מפני שכן ציוואם הוריהם ואבותיהם. They don't do it at all because Hashem said to do it. They do it because society says, because their parents said, because that's what Jews do. Not because Hashem's in the picture. וגם זאת מבלי דעת, and even that's without any mind. איזה טעם למצווה? Why do we do this mitzvah? What's the reason behind the mitzvah? What's the depth behind the mitzvah? רק מצד הלימוד וההרגל. Only from the side of, this is what I learned to do, and this is what I'm used to doing. That's what the Malbim has to say about that Isaiah, to bring it down a little bit more. פה נערך קרב של ממש בעולם הפנימי של היהודי. This is the war theater in the inner chambers of a Jew. This is where the war is happening inside of you. Is this godly or is it not? Is this real or is it not? I do all these mitzvot, I dress a certain way, I try to say I learn Torah, I sit and I read these pages. What's going in? What's actually changing? Where is the Torah actually making me a better, more complete, more aligned person? That my eating aligns with my shacharit. That they both are holy. That they're both connected to God. Like Rav Nachman says when we come to eat, Torah 62, panim bepanim, face to face. Shacharit is meant to be Kilu omed lifnei hamelech. You're standing in front of the king, face to face. Are they both equal, or is food like a gashmi olam hazeh thing that's not holy and not connected to Hashem? Hashem didn't command you to eat in a holy way. There you're allowed to break the rules. There you don't have to keep kosher. When we come to pray, do we believe that we're talking to the King of Kings? Do we believe that we have emunah in who we're talking to, that he can literally flip any situation in a second? When we go to a tzaddik, do we believe that the bracha is actually real? Or is it just another human being that happens to sit and learn Torah all day long, and the world says we have to respect people like that, so we go to ask them for things, but we don't really believe what they do? I'm saying it outright, and I'm saying it to myself as well. We all need to work on this. We all need to come to more connection and godliness, and this is the week of Malchut. How much are we crowning Hashem on ourselves? Where do we need to crown Hashem on ourselves more? What does it mean to crown Hashem? To see Hashem, that He's actually showing up in that life. He's actually the king over that facet of your life, not you. It's up to Him, not you. How much more can I bring that into my life? How much more can I get to a point where Hashem, Hu Elohim, Adonai Imloch Leolam Vaed, it's Him, not me. The work of Gvura Shebe Malchut that we were just in, the Matok Midvash, Tzfat Lechem says, the work there is to look at all of the things in the world, all of the pachad and the Gvura that Hashem does in the world, and from that to understand who we're dealing with, and from that to come to such love and emunah that we break out in song, like the splitting of the sea. What did we see there? We saw what Hashem did to the Egyptians and what He did to the water. What was the natural outcome of that? We broke out in song. And what was the end of that song? Adonai imloch leolam vaed. Hashem, you're going to be king forever, for eternity, meaning over everything, over all of my life. How did we get there? Pachat be'ema. The intensity and the realness of who is Hashem. And what level, where did my neshama come from? My neshama came from Hashem. It's a scary, scary thought. This is where the war is happening. And neshama moshechet eleya, the neshama is pulling towards her. Shua nefashot miurot mimauta, that the nefashot, that the souls, the beings down here, should be illuminated from her essence. V'achiyunim mevakesh lefatra be'omra, and then the body is trying to exempt the neshama, trying to, no, you sit this one out by saying, Eni yochol, I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm from this world. I'm finite. You're godly. I can't handle your light. אעשה ככל אשר יוטל, אבל הניחי לי לחיות את עיקר רגשותיי ותחושותיי במחזות שלהן הנני נוטה מטבעי. I'll listen to you, I'll do it, but let me at least give in to my inclinations that are natural, that I pull into. I enjoy food. Let me eat food and let me enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's certain things that are naturally enjoyable in this world and they're not forbidden. Let me go there. Let me enjoy it. Let me be a human being. It's not all day long Torah. It's not all day long Olam Haba. Hashem put you in this world. Neshama, you have to work with me. Work with me. Let me enjoy the food that I'm eating. Let me go for a walk. Let me work out. Let me breathe. Let me be a human being. כי אם ארצה בך, נשמתי הטהורה, ויחיה את מציאות השם יתברך באופן אמיתי, כפי שהנחה מהירה בקרבי. If I want you, neshama, you pure neshama that's in me, if I live the reality of Hashem in a true fashion, as you're illuminating and showing me in my own midst, down here, you're showing me what godliness is, she'en od milvado, that there really is nothing but Hashem yitbarach, ve'efez zulato, there's nothing else that exists besides Hashem, נמצאתי בטל ומבוטל כמת שעבר מן העולם. If that's the case, then I am nullified to the point as if I'm a dead person that has been taken out of this world. וכבר סופר בפרקים הקודמים מה מתחולל ביניהם כאשר אחד משניהם אינו קשוב לזולתו. We've already been through this book a little bit, and the book started with the story of what happens when there is not peace between the two parties. What happens when the Rebbe can't teach the students because the students want to receive from the Rebbe? And what happens when the students don't want to receive from the Rebbe and the Rebbe doesn't want to give to them, and then the students don't receive and then they start to act up? We know what happens when the neshama doesn't listen to the body and when the body doesn't listen to the neshama. It goes both ways. Yes, your body has to receive the orders from the neshama and to learn Torah and to eat in a holy way and to do these things in a holy manner. But the neshama cannot strangle the body from experiencing this world and taking pleasure in it and enjoying this world. Going for a walk, being real, knowing when to step out of the Beit Midrash to go sit on the beach for a few hours. Not in a parutz place, not in an impure one. But yes, there's times we're going out of the Beit Midrash and not learning Torah for a few hours and just sitting out in nature is exactly what the neshama needs in order to get the body to listen to it. And if we always look at that as bitul Torah and stepping away, and you're meant to be learning all day long and davening, and it's only meant to be holy things, No, when you go to nature, you have to be doing itbodedut. You have to take a book with you. No, you don't. You don't need to do anything. You need to be a human being in this world just to exist. That's all you need sometimes. Anything more than that is already your neshama trying to have its way. And there's times for that. And that's the ikar. The neshama should be in charge. But not in the point where it negates this world. Not in the point where it negates the body. Because Hashem is enod milvado. And the body is part of that enod milvado. The body is included in that. Food is included in that. This world is included in that. Relationships are included in that. Your wife is included in that. Zat Hashem. The more peace we make between those facets of our life, the healthier we will become, the holier we will become, the more real and authentic we will become, and essentially the more godly we will become.
Ruling on the floor with our children.
Like we said before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Zat Hashem, that's the goal. Thank you everybody on here. See you later.